Let's talk about why so many new fixed lens or prime lens shooters out there, Leica Q, Leica M, Fuji X100, Ricoh GR, why you're struggling to get good photographs. And more importantly, how I can help you get good photographs after you watch this episode. I see it all the time in my online students, in my workshops. I see it on Instagram. I see people sell off their big Sony, Nikon, Canon setups. They ditch that 24 to 70. They take their 70 to 200 and they throw it out the window. Well, they don't actually do that. They announce to the world, I'm done with all that heavy gear. I just want to enjoy photography again. I'm stuck in my photography and I need to change. And this is gonna do it. This prime lens camera, this new Leica, this Fuji, that's gonna make me change. That's gonna make me enjoy photography and get pro level images. You might even look at someone like me and you see my Leica M10D picture of the Rhino and the Caretaker published in a global Leica ad campaign. You say, oh, if I was using that setup, I'd get results like this guy. Or maybe not so narcissistic, maybe there's someone else you look up to, right? You just come to me to sort of yell at you. But anyway, that's like as logical as thinking if you bought a pro golfer's clubs, you'd suddenly start striking the ball like them, hitting it straight in 300 yards every time. It doesn't work that way. And so the camera arrives, you go out and shoot, and you're excited about everything. You're excited to get these pro level shots, different types of images. You're gonna change, everything's gonna change. But then a few weeks later, after the honeymoon phase fades and you've realized slapping retro filters on bad photos still results in bad photos, you start to wonder, though you don't always say it out loud, but you do wonder. And you start questioning, why don't my photos look as good as the pros? And maybe you ease that by saying, well, I'm not a pro, that's why. But then you get to the tougher question is, why don't your photos look as good as your old photographs taken with those zoom lenses? And the hard truth is because the camera isn't the problem. You are. Switching systems doesn't magically make you a better photographer unless you've put in the hard work and switched your mindset. When you're using zooms, your lenses were doing a lot of the work. Sorry, but they were. You weren't. That 70 to 200 at 2.8 gave you instant compression and that creamy background separation. It made everything look what you thought was professional. And your friends and family who don't have these lenses, they were patting you on the back and saying oh, these are cool photos. But really, what they were saying most of the time is that this is a cool lens. And they were right. So yeah, the honest truth is your lens was doing the heavy lifting and you were taking the credit. Now you've got a fixed 28 or 35 or 50 and suddenly there's nowhere to hide. And people aren't impressed because they've seen images taken with a 35 and 28 and they don't have that magical compression, and they don't have that maybe what you think is that professional look. While I'm on the topic of help, just a quick thank you to my sponsor today, which is me, my online store, askmott.com. I've got online classes, portfolio reviews, 1-hour open Q&A, long-term mentorship programs, private customizable workshops here in Vietnam or anywhere in the world, and also do have 2 slots left for my Central Vietnam Photography Workshop in December. Last chance to register for that right now. It's an all-inclusive workshop. You just have to get here. It's an amazing experience. If you can afford it, I'm telling you, you'll have a great time. Join me in Vietnam. All that and more is available at askmott.com. And so a fixed lens camera, whether it's your Fuji, your Leica, or your Ricoh, it doesn't just give you good photos or the perception of good photos from other people. You have to go out and earn them. A fixed lens camera makes you move a lot. It makes you think a lot, or at least it should make you think. It makes you see a scene and digest that information and then figure out where to move and why. You can't zoom with your wrist anymore. You have to zoom with your feet. You've got to step closer sometimes to your subject, which can be a little bit uncomfortable. You're not just stopping seeing a scene and pulling out all your tools and just shooting, right? That's what a fixed lens has always done for me. I shot an entire year of New York Times assignments with a fixed 35, and I can't tell you, it was so hard. It was so hard in the beginning, but the rewards were I was getting different shots. I was thinking more. I was slowing down more. I was moving a lot more. I was so much more thoughtful in the way that I composed a picture and the way that I told a story with my images. And so essentially it makes you find photographs, not wait for the lens to make it for you. That's why a fixed lens will make you better, not because they're minimalistic or retro, but because they demand work. And that's the part you probably skipped with those zoom lenses. You bypassed that, or at least you thought you did. And this fixed lens will make you go back and learn these things that you should have learned early on. So how do you use it? What's a good exercise? I told you I'm going to help you improve using it. Not just going out there and shooting with it and hoping the photos will get better. Well, that's not going to work. You've got to put the time in. And a practical way to do that is start by documenting someone. It might seem weird for some of you out there that aren't documentary photographers or even just being an amateur, but document somebody. Document a loved one in a controlled environment. Your wife, your husband, your kids. Like, do a day in the life. Shadow them with your fixed lens camera. Move a bit. Tell a little bit of a story. Just like spend a couple hours or an hour a week for a couple weeks. These are the kind of things I do in my mentorship program. I give people these assignments or a story and you work on it, but you can try doing it yourself as well. And that controlled environment will help you learn that lens. It'll help you get in a rhythm with that lens, with that camera. You'll start to understand where to stand and why. You'll start to know where to be to anticipate moments or to get a shot within good light. It'll help you be a lot more thoughtful with your composition. And all this over time will help you build a foundation when you're not in a controlled environment, when you're going out and shooting street photography, when you're traveling to a new country. It'll become muscle memory. You'll learn the skill, you'll learn the reward for moving and being patient with this lens and using it properly. And so that's a great exercise to build these instincts. That's how you'll make the fixed lens feel natural to you. And again, it will take time, but if you really want to improve your photography, it's worth it. You have to buy in. And so really what I'm saying is this is like a mindset shift or a reset, or starting from the beginning. It might feel like going backwards, and it should feel like going backwards. Most people switch cameras, but they don't change their mindset, and that's a big problem. They treat their fixed lenses like they do a zoom, and they expect it to do the work, and it won't. It's just going to sit there and be like, you do it. So if you have, or if you're thinking about switching to a fixed lens, just understand that. It requires patience, discipline, and purpose. It forces you to slow down, to see the whole frame, to think before you shoot. Once you stop letting your lens think for you, you start thinking for yourself, and that's slowly when everything changes. And it's not to say you can't use zooms and you can't make it work using zooms, and I still use zooms when I need to work fast, when I'm on a commercial job or a tight deadline, or I've got things moving really quickly. But really, when I want to tell a deep story, when I have time to slow down, when I want to improve my photography and connect with my subject, my go-to is my Leica and a 35mm, because it doesn't hand me good photos, it makes me earn them. That's it for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Just my final thoughts there is that I don't want to discourage anyone from buying a fixed lens, or people that only like to use zooms. Do what works for you. I'm just telling you my process. I'm telling you what I see when people do go from zooms to fixed lenses. Then they get discouraged and they sell. I don't want you to get discouraged. I just want you to understand it's just not going to magically happen. You've got to put the time in. It's okay to switch to that minimalistic setup. If you want to grow in your photography, you've got to change your mindset. And try that exercise that I said. Trust me, it'll help you. It'll help you improve your skills overall, not just with a fixed lens. It'll help you improve your skills as a photographer. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to check out my online store for my one-on-one classes, portfolio reviews, my monthly mentorship program, my Vietnam workshops, my private workshops, all that and more at askmott.com. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to have a wonderful day.